Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We are glad you are here, whether you're here in the sanctuary today or anywhere in the world on our live stream. I'm Vicki Sklar, one of your representatives on the Board of Trustees. If you are a visitor, we hope you'll sign one of our guest books at either entrance to the sanctuary or visit our webpage, westhartforduu.org, to learn more. There you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list, which is the best way for us to stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. Today we'll have fellowship in Fisk Hall and through Zoom. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall for our fellowship hour, any member of the church will be happy to guide you. Just look for someone wearing a Universalist Church name tag. You can find the link for Zoom fellowship in your weekly news or our Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please do sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email, put away your keyboards, and settle in for worship.
I invite all those who are joining us through technology to reach for your home chalice and to please light it as we light ours here in the sanctuary. As I lifted this instrument and held the wick over this tiny flame, we expect the fire to lap the wick and then light the oil in this chalice, as it did. Thank goodness, because it usually doesn't when I plan that way. It's an action we choose to do each time we, as a covenantal faith, perform to remind us we are a community of diverse and caring people who hold one another as a living body of our faith. Today, as we discuss our capacity for making choices and all the possibilities that are held in that aspect of our humanity, may we acknowledge that our choices, just as lighting this chalice, impact who we are and are becoming. We have the gift to express and demonstrate who we are through our choices. We also each have the power to choose how we use our giftedness of possibilities to support our dreams and move forward. We can also choose possibilities that can snuff out our light and leave us stuck or completely overwhelmed. May our chalice lighting this morning remind us that our ways of choosing offer us multiple possibilities for both our present moment and our future. Our opening hymn is hymn number 295, Sing Out Praises for the Journey, in the gray hymnal. Please rise in body or in spirit in the sanctuary or wherever you are as we sing together. Please join me now in speaking our words of affirmation, our covenant, as printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
At this time, I would like to invite all of our children and those who are young at heart to come join me up here up on the steps. Make sure you can see the book. I'll hold it up here so you can see the pictures. Thank you. Today we are going to read a story, and the story is called I Wish You More, from Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Tom Lichtenheld. What do you notice when you look at the front cover of this book? What do you see? He's blowing a wish flower. Do you know what the name of the wish flower is? Alexander. A dandelion. Have you ever blown on a dandelion before? I have. Have you made a wish on a dandelion? You had so many wishes, not all of them came true. That can happen sometimes. We're going to read this story, and hopefully you'll be able to see the beautiful pictures. I wish you more ups than downs. I wish you more give than take. I wish you more tippy toes than deep. I wish you more we than me. I wish you more hugs than Uggs. I wish you more woohoo than whoa. I wish you more will than hill. I wish you more can than not. I wish you more snowflakes than tongue. I wish you more pause than fast forward. I wish you more umbrella than rain. I wish you more bubbles than bath. I wish you more treasures than pockets. I wish you more stories than stars. I wish all of this for you because you are everything I could wish for and more. Now at this time, our middle schoolers are going to go upstairs, and my kindergarten through 5th grade, you are going to come with me to the program center for a very special activity. At this time, please join me in singing our children out to their classes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Phillips, the head of your stewardship committee, and you're probably relieved that this is the closing Sunday of our annual giving campaign. I know I am. We're making great progress. So I just want to give a huge shout out to the 96 households who have pledged as of October 31st. So if you got your pledge in today, you won't be counted in this. Anyway, the 96 households who have pledged $347,285. We are at 84% of our goal this year, so really close to the finish line. If you're still holding on to that pledge card, you haven't gotten it in, now is the time. If you haven't gotten a visit or have gotten a reach out and would like one, please see me, or you can let the office know and they will let me know, or anyone on the stewardship committee. And so we have our final drawing for today. We have 4 t-shirts to give away and 3 tote bags. I have the tote bags. If you are here, I will track you down. T-shirts, we will be getting your size and placing the order tomorrow. So, without further ado, I don't know, do you want to do the honors? So we've got to keep this on the up and up. No election issues here. All right, our first t-shirt winner is Patrice Fitzgerald and Richard Leslie. So they will both get a t-shirt, and they were great volunteer stewards. So I think they might be resting after the Play Festival over the weekend. Next on the t-shirt front, Jen Krebsbach. So yay, Jen. She kicked us off with a great testimonial. We've got 2 more t-shirts here. And John and Lisa Smith Horn. So you can. Okay, you can get a photo. Especially since you're here. Oh, and I see another couple here, Edie and Rob Thompson. Yay! Thank you for your pledge. Okay, so we have 2 more to go for the tote bag, since Lisa did her little negotiation here. All right. Susan Jane Stam. I haven't seen her here, but we thank her for her pledge, and we'll get this to her. And last but not least, Susan Hussey, who's probably not here because the choir is off, but we will get her tote bag. So anyway, thank you all for pledging. If you haven't gotten your pledge in, please do so. Save the stewardship committee a phone call for follow-up. And thank you all so much for your generosity and your contributions to the church. It really is what makes the wheels spin here. Thank you.
And I think we need to clap for the stewards. All kinds of good feedback from the visits. The voluntary offering, the sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community, is a spiritual practice for each one of us. By offering our time, talent, and resources to this community, we help each other serve the members, friends, and the wider community of this congregation. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week with organizations that do work in our community, in our world, that brings us ever closer to creating the beloved community. This month, we share our offering with the Hill Paugussett Nation. They are the tribe recognized by the state of Connecticut with reservation land in Trumbull and Colchester. The Hill Paugussett tribe once occupied 500,000 acres of land in western Connecticut and eastern New York State. We have developed a relationship with them as honored neighbors and worked with them to understand our collective history in this place and our current circumstances together. Our funds will go to our friends to use as they see fit though we know that they need continued support for their educational programming and their community center. To give electronically, please use the QR codes on your order of service, the links in the description online, or those on our website to make your donation to our offering. Here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received. I bless these offerings from your generous hearts and souls for the work that we do in this community and in the community beyond our congregation. Thank you for your generosity. Please rise in body or in spirit as we speak our congregational reading, number 584, in our gray hymnal. I will speak the words in the Roman type, and we will speak together the words in italics. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted. Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that. We must evolve, for all human conflict, a method which resists and rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. Before it is too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamations of peace and our lowly deeds which precipitate and perpetuate wars. One day we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal as we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means. We shall hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. Please join in singing our doxology.
Praise God for all
In our beloved community, may we keep in our thoughts and prayers all our members who are struggling with the realities of dementia, Alzheimer's, and chronic illnesses. Today, as we reflect on the possibilities of our choice, may we hold in our collective spirit of love all those running for positions of leadership in our nation. May they hold a deep commitment to the service of others. May we also hold with respect all those who will be providing our nation with support in handling all the aspects of this election. May they be safe and experience the gratitude of each and every one of us for their work and efforts. Finally, as we hold in our shared silence all these spoken prayers, may we also hold all those that are unspoken and yet held deeply within each one of our hearts. Please join me for a period of silence. May our continued worship allow us all to extend kindness and love to all those in this community, as well as those needing our valued love in the greater community. Please join me now in singing Spirit of Life.
Our first reading is from We Are the Leaders We Have Been Looking For by Eddie Sklar, Jr. The confrontation with the evils of our world and the madness that results demand something of us, something more, something rooted in the heritage that belongs to all of us, that eternal spring. This is not a guarantee that all will be well, that in the end darkness will give way to the light. Spring always comes, so does winter. But Imani Perry, in her book Breathe, A Letter to My Sons, guides the eyes of her sons and her readers, not only to what was, but also to what is possible, to the as yet, to what could be. And that imagining becomes the basis for a different kind of orientation to the world, what she calls a revolutionary possibility. We are more than our circumstances. We are more than what the world says about us. Mine is an abiding faith in the capacity of everyday, ordinary people to be otherwise, and in our ability, no matter the evils that threaten to overwhelm, to fight for a more just world. That faith isn't naive or a fantastical evasion of the ugliness of human beings. It reflects my willingness to run ahead of the evidence, to see beyond the limit conditions of my experience, and to ready myself to act on behalf of something not yet in existence. It is also part of my inheritance, a faith bequeathed to me by those known and unknown souls who survived the absurdity of the American project when they easily could have chosen death. James Baldwin's shared lectures sought to ground that faith in philosophy and a politics that affirmed the capacity of people to be the change agents we so desperately need. I wanted us, through my book, to see the revolutionary possibility in self-cultivation on behalf of justice. That in the effort to become the kinds of people democracies require, the kinds of people a racially just society demands, we transform our conditions of living. James Baldwin insisted that we live in a world of messiness. Baldwin insisted, and rightly so, that human beings have a role to play. Our choices matter because all is not settled. We matter because we are reacting, experimenting, feeling, concerned with influencing the direction of our encounters in a way that will benefit and not harm. And those actions in turn shape our environments. As such, the question of who we take ourselves to be, a question of the character of those who are making choices, becomes a central feature of democratic practice. Baldwin believed, and so do I, that we have to become better people if we are to change the world. Our second reading is from Hard Choices by Hillary Rodham Clinton. All of us face hard choices in our lives. Some face more than their share. We have to decide how to balance the demands of work and family, caring for a sick child or a partner or an aging parent, figuring out how to pay for college, finding a good job and what to do if you lose it, whether to get married or stay married, how to give our kids the opportunities they dream about and deserve. Life is about making such choices. Our choices and how we handle them shape the people we become. For leaders and nations, they can mean the difference between war and peace, poverty and prosperity. I wrote this book for anyone anywhere who wonders whether the United States still has what it takes to lead. For me, the answer is a resounding yes. Everything that I have done and seen has convinced me that America remains the indispensable nation. I am just as convinced, however, that our leadership is not a birthright. It must be earned by every generation. And it will be, so long as we stay true to our values and remember that before we are Republicans or Democrats, liberals or conservatives, or any of the other labels that divide us as often as define us, we are Americans, all with a personal stake in our country.
probably like at least some of you, I haven't been sleeping really well. Nor has my stomach been unknotted for some time. And as happens when a sense of anxiety permeates my day in and day out breathing, I consume dark chocolate as if I bought enough candy for 1,000 trick-or-treaters. In short, I haven't been living into the words from our longest-serving First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "I am who I am today because of the choices I made yesterday." Perhaps I have been aware of the value of leadership and how critical it is to be responsible for my choices, not only as the eldest in a family of 7, but also in the various roles I've handled thus far in my life. The Sunday when Reverend Sophia Betancourt stood in this same pulpit and shared the quote from Howard Thurman, "Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve," the words reverberated through my bones. It called me to be more resolute in examining those who have come before us in this sacred space and in the sacred spaces of our nation's capital. As you all know, my ministry here at Fern Street is that of pastoral care. I have the privilege of ministering with a team of caring and compassionate congregants. Our mission is to visit and keep in touch with members who, for whatever reasons, cannot sit among us in this sacred space each Sunday, or at any time they might wish to. Our role as the lay pastoral team is to extend this sacred space to them wherever they are. And what an honor and sacred ministry it is. One of the wonders of this ministry is learning from those wonderful members how this beloved community has been built on their moments of high resolve. How truly we, every one of us gathered here, are who we are today because of their choices from the days before. How the very hymnals, cushions we're sitting on, carpeting, lighting, and the effervescent energy came from their moments of shared worship, shared trust, and hope and faith. We imbibe that history and sacredness every time we gather. We choose to share what is possible together, and as we often say in worship, make it so. In our opening hymn, Sing Our Praise for the Journey, we were reminded that we have a journey together. We sang the words, "Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown, built by those who knew wild roads." The wild roads. Then and now. In our time for all ages, we enjoyed imagining what we would want to wish more for one another. And the reading from Eddie Gaudet Jr. spoke so eloquently by Winston of being something more. Being more than what the world says about us. And Hillary Clinton, in her memoir, called us to acknowledge that choice is not always easy, but critical to our own as well as our nation's growth. In preparation for today's service and the services Reverend Adam and I will be sharing with you over the next few Sundays, I decided that I was going to dig into our national heritage and give myself a boost of female strength. I then resolutely headed off to a few of our local libraries and grabbed books off the shelf to allow me to absorb as much of that strength as possible. I wanted to give myself a cushion of power, regardless of how we as a nation choose on Tuesday. That exercise of digging into the biographies and memoirs of some of the women of our nation's political landscape has truly complemented the wonders of sitting next to our oldest living church members in their living spaces and soaking up their stories of the grand moments of this community's beginnings in this sacred space. If you are like me, with multiple feelings in one body about what may happen 38 hours from now, and somehow I suspect that might be true. True? True? So to quiet those feelings, I recommend for the next few moments, we absorb some feminine boost from the women I've been sitting with as I plan for today. I will read the women's leader's name, a short bio, name her book, and provide a quote from that book. I will leave a minute or two between each one so we can soak up their thoughts and feelings, and then I'll share another. It will be our shared feminine meditation for a sacred and gentle election, one that will allow all of us to keep before us the moments of our highest resolve as we meet our nation's moment of choice together. The first book is a biography titled Battling Bella: The Protest Politics of Bella Abzug by Leanda Ruth Zarnow. Bella Abzug was born Bella Savitsky of Russian and Jewish immigrants. Wearing her trademark broad-brimmed hats, she championed in the 1970s using the slogan, "The women's place is in the House of Representatives." After winning her seat, she advanced the feminist agenda in ways big and small, from gaining full access for congresswomen to the House swimming pool, to confounding the nation's and national women's co-founding, the National Women's Political Caucus, to putting the title Ms. into the political lexicon. Beyond women's rights, Sister Bella promoted gay rights, privacy rights, and human rights, and pushed legislation relating to urban, environmental, and foreign affairs. Bella said, "Women will run the 21st century. This is going to be the women's century, and young people are going to be its leaders." A moment of silence. A book, the memoir Unbossed and Unbought, written by Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm was born in 1924, and she was many things: a nursery school teacher, an author, the first black congresswoman, and in 1972, perhaps most impressively, the first black major party candidate to run for President of the United States, although she had to fight to be included in the primary debates. Shirley said, "At present, our country needs women's idealism and determination, perhaps more in politics than anywhere else." A moment of silence. A memoir, Ferraro, My Story, by Geraldine Ferraro. Geraldine Jerry Ferraro served in the United States House of Representatives, representing New York's 9th District from 1979 to 1985. In 1984, she was the first woman to be named a vice presidential candidate for a major party. Jerry said, "There are no doors we cannot unlock. We will place no limits on achievement. If we can do this, we can do anything." She also added that as she worked through the highs and lows of the 4 months following that Democratic convention, she repeated her mother's words often. They were, "Don't forget your name. Ferrero means iron. You can bend it, but you can't break it. So go on." Silence. A memoir, Hill, Hell, and Other Destinations, by Madeleine Albright. Madeleine was born in Prague, Czechoslovakia in 1937 and immigrated to the United States in 1948. She was appointed United States Ambassador to the UN from 1993 to 1997. A position she held until she was appointed Secretary of State in January of 1997. Madeleine served in that capacity until President Clinton left office in 2001. She was our country's first woman Secretary of State. As she turned 80, she was engaged in 12 major activities on the international stage, reflecting her abiding preoccupation with world affairs. Madeleine said, "For the past several years, my exhortation to audiences has been, see something, say something, do something. Exactly what we are able to say and do will depend on our circumstances. There are no guarantees that any particular action will make a difference. There never are. But that doesn't let us off the hook. Whoever we are, we each have opportunities and choices. We need to use them. Silence. A memoir spoken from the heart by Laura Bush. Laura Bush began her political life when she helped her husband, George W., run unsuccessfully in his bid for Texas representative for the House. She became the First Lady of Texas in 1995 and implemented many initiatives focused on health, literacy, and education. Laura said, "To live in the White House is to live with your predecessors, with their decorating, their renovations, their furniture. George and I both pored over biographies and histories of the men and women who had inhabited these walls. And there was a real solace to these constant reminders of what had gone before." We could go on in our shared meditation because women's voices, especially these days, speak of so much possibility. I have compiled a reference list for any of you who wish to explore some of those women more thoroughly. However, now is our collective time to do together what we cannot do alone. To move into being in this moment, this historic time, by supporting each other as this sacred moment continues to unfold. Just as Reverend Sophia Betancourt called each of us to keep fresh before me the moments of high resolve, may we celebrate and be all we can be in the moments that will come this day and in this election week as we meet our nation's moment of choice together. And may it be so. Please rise in body and in spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, hymn number 175 in our gray hymnal. We celebrate the web of life.
Celebrate
let us speak our unison benediction. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering and honor all beings. I would like to remind folks that if you are a new member, please join for the second orientation session in the green parlor after you grab something to drink and eat, and join us there. Oh, there will be refreshments in the room, so you don't have to go downstairs and grab and run up. That's good. Please be seated and remain for our postlude.